and I was just eating the whole pack. But that's all I remember. It was the bubble gum and obviously visiting my dad. Yeah, I didn't fully understand how serious the situation was, but I knew that my father was in prison.
A guy named Cliff Frazier came into the restaurant that I was in. I called the police for him. They questioned us and took him away. And a month later, he identified me in the lineup, said that I was the person that shot him and killed the two men. I was convicted based solely upon his testimony and sentenced to prison for natural life.
Okay.
But there's a difference between stepping out on a prison yard and seeing daylight and stepping outside. I still can't explain. It was like I stepped into a whole new world for real. I just remember hugging my Aunt Brenda and my sister. I told my Aunt Brenda that I wanted to see my boys. That was the first time I got to hug them as men outside of the prison.
Every time we spoke on the phone, every time we went to visit him, we just had those talks about staying out of trouble, staying out of the streets, make sure you finish college.
Yes, it is. I'm happy just to walk out of that door. But I won't help my children find happiness, whatever they think it is. Whatever.
Okay.
No va a parar. Siempre vamos a ver personas que quieran pasar, que ellos lleguen y pues cada quien su objetivo, ¿verdad? Ellos lograr llegar a donde van y tratar de cumplir su objetivo y uno tratar de pasarlo para ganarse un peso. Yo nunca pensé en mi vida, a lo mejor, estar ni en este lugar, ni de repente haciendo eso, ¿verdad? Yo tengo una familia humilde y yo vine de Veracruz para acá con esa ilusión, como todos, de ir para el otro lado. Estuve viviendo en San Diego un par de meses.
¿Qué?
Pues tienen una escalera. Citrón hace como el edificio este alto, el muro, así hace la escalera, más alta. ¿Tú piensas que con reforzar la frontera, él va a solucionar un problema económico que el país tiene con el montón de gente que entra?
I'm poor, you know, I want to work. Ver ya, pues si tengo intenciones porque tengo a mi hija ya, pues la quiero buscar. Presidente Trump, pues, muy duro, pero como que pienso que va a tirar balazos, que le da órdenes, no sé yo, pero...
Just a little bit.
Es una bendición, de verdad, sí.
El Salvador tiene una enfermedad.
Yo vivo en Weston Dicho, Vero, ir y callar. El emigrado, tiempo la violencia, obligadamente.
Estamos solos en esta guerra, declarada por la pandilla. Si no tengo la pistola debajo de la almohada, tengo que estarla casi tocando para dormir.
A ese grupo de periodistas que trabajan en la madrugada les dicen tecolotes, es una ave nocturna, parecida al búho.
de pasar, fue un día bastante complicado en un lugar de la zona de Oriente. Una familia fue ametrallada. En ese momentito estábamos nosotros por cuando se nos alerta de que hay un triple homicidio en la zona de Soyapango, donde opera la pandilla 18.
Ubícame vos con coordenadas de dónde es ahí la cuestión de la gente. Yo voy en ruta, viejo.
Está la gente policial. Estando ahí, pues, se nos alerta de que han asesinado a un agente de la policía que se encontraba de licencia. Esto ya es en el departamento de La Paz, en el municipio de San Juan de Nualco. Eso hay que ir, porque las personas no se van, huyen del temor, huyen de la delincuencia, huyen por sobrevivir, por no ser víctimas.
Plan, you know, oh, you're gonna make it to 9 months, and then you're gonna be in the hospital for a few days, you're gonna get to go home, have the baby in the nursery. It's scary to not have everything go into plan. At that moment, all you really think about is she gonna be okay? Like, is she gonna make it? She was 3 months and 13 days early. She was very tiny. She only weighed 1 pound, 4 ounces. I just wanted her to be okay. It's really scary. I was 18 when everything started with like the doctor saying it's gonna be really hard for you to get pregnant. They got to a point where doctors were like, oh, you can't have babies. Like, stop trying. It's not gonna happen for you. Breathe on her own, keep her own temperature, and eat on her own pretty much.
You know what I'm doing. You know what I'm teaching your mom. It's like, don't you dare teach her this.
The feeding tube. If I want to take her home on it, I've got to learn how to do it. So I've got to like put my big girl pants on and learn how to do it.
So you want to go like aim it down and towards the middle instead of like up and back.
Oh, no, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Look at you.
Oh my God.
Sometimes you hit.
You get a lot of judgment. A lot of people have a lot of opinion about it. But it's my life. I'm going to do what's going to make me happy. And I really wanted to be a mom. I like the journey that we've been on. I like our story. I got to see her from very, very little, from 1 pound to transform into a baby. She's my little miracle child.
I was beating. It's not their country. It's not theirs. They weren't born here. They weren't invited here. They just took.
Porque ahorita en México no tengo vida allá. Estamos con mis hijos y aquí, pues aquí está el futuro, aquí sí hay vida.
I drive a school bus, and on my school bus where 95% of the students are Hispanic. They're illegal, and most of the parents do not speak English. They're not assimilating.
Nuestros hijos son americanos, ellos no tienen la culpa de que nosotros estamos aquí. Ellos nacieron aquí.
It's my fault. So it's not.
Nosotros pagamos taxes como cualquier otra persona. Aquí nadie le roba el trabajo a nadie. Aquí hay oportunidades para todo el mundo.
If this was not draining our resources, if this was just a matter of a few people wanting to come in and maybe improve their life and come through the process, that's one thing. But when you have this entire culture coming in and trying to change our whole culture, that's wrong.
Okay.
Bolers.
Okay. No, it's not that one.
No, that's,
No.
that's it, that's like this.
Nope. Refresh it if you would, please. Refresh it if you would. Not that one either.
Wait a minute, what that one was? I'm trying to think. Give me yeah, neighbors.
Yes,
I'm just
neighbors next door. Okay.
Yeah, but I thought that was one of the keys. Yeah, those were mine. All mines on that.
Okay.
road, so.
Well, let's finish going through, and then we'll see what's not
Yeah.
not there.
Forge ahead.
So, is there some?
I don't remember being sound up top. Is it?
Okay.
No, if there was a wind sound, but the video's down below.
Okay. Ease through. Okay.
That was opioids in Midtown, I think that's what it was. Oh.
Katrina, as most of you know, has become a monster of a hurricane, a Category 5 storm.
An Army National Guard helicopter today rescued people from rooftops, fragile islands in the floodwaters.
Hurricane Sandy crashing on shore, winds now at 90 miles per hour.
We've got a significant problem on our hands, so we have a lot of work to do.
The United States is no stranger to devastating hurricanes, but few people spend their time thinking about the next one. Here in Tampa Bay, it's easy to just live in the moment. But this is one of the most vulnerable areas in the country to extreme weather and rising sea levels. Global warming is likely to bring more of both. Tampa Bay hasn't been hit by a major hurricane since 1921, but there's been no lack of near misses. Some scientists point to location, others to luck. Most agree that the city is overdue for the next big storm.
When there's a storm anywhere in the Atlantic Ocean, and I keep a watchful eye on
Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. Across Tampa Bay, analysts estimate more than 1.5 million buildings could be destroyed in a Category 5 storm, costing the city up to $175 billion.
All of this, infrastructure is very old. I mean, this is
one of the older parts of Tampa that developed first. This was, decades and decades and decades ago before we even gave any thought to sea level rise. And so no one was thinking, gee, maybe we shouldn't build homes at sea level, because it really was not subject to hazards all that often.
Okay.
Vital infrastructure is also
It's resilient so that we can still be comfortable and enjoy the way of life that we have here in Tampa Bay.
Mark knows that life here is tenuous, but he doesn't dwell on it.
Every morning when I walk out to get the paper, I see dolphins frolicking in the bayou and roseate spoonbills walking around the edge of the bayou. So it tends to make you forget about all those sorts of things.
Okay.
Perched on the water's edge in St. Petersburg, the Salvador Dali Museum is a tribute to the surreal, with a decidedly realist touch.
The building is built to withstand a Category 5 hurricane, and that's something that we're very cognizant of being here in Florida.
The walls are wrapped in a free-form geodesic glass bubble. It's called the Enigma.
The glass structure can actually withstand up to a Cat 3 hurricane, which is about 130 mile/hour winds. The steel structure itself is the main strength behind the glass.
And it's extremely important for us to preserve and protect both Dali's works and his legacy.
Okay. Thank you.
The other one that we missed was opioids in Middletown. That was 426 738.
738. 6738. Six, 738.
Heroin and Oxycontin. I'm not juiced up rock, Suboxone, heroin and Oxycontin. I'm not. Xanax got me robbing. Must have forgotten. Ice in my veins, no plan on stopping.
Middletown, like there's hardly no work here. There used to be work everywhere.
Okay.
I'm sure it's not even for a lot of people.
order to do community service to repay them on their first offense. On the second offense, whatever the cost was will be doubled in order to do community service to take care of that. So we'll keep track of who we provide services to. Dispatcher will ask who is the person who was overdosed, and if it's somebody who's already been provided services twice, we'll advise them that we're not going to provide any further services and will not send out an EMT.
So you're going to see somebody dying right in front of you and say, oh, he's already been 3 times, bye. Die.
The tough answer is no. It really isn't. I mean, you gotta stay on course and keep working through it.
I'm still haunted by my past. Another shot of meth, so I don't crash. Addicted to the struggle, the hustle of living fast. Chasing the fix and getting cash. The street life, it would never last.
Okay.
As I said, the rights have been purchased, and there's a
We'll reload that one so we can. There you go. Thank you. All right. Let's start with what you put forward that you no longer feel like stays in the mix.
Well, I'm going to start with opioids and drop it. It is the major story of the day. Tremendous access for the listeners. The audio destroys it. You can't understand. And, you know, the spine of multimedia narrative is the audio. You know, you've got to be able to hear descriptions and the insights and information that's going to be out. I looked at it a couple of times. And it was on the right path, had some power, some strong video, and some strong visuals, but the audio just really.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Is it? Yes, thank you. What else that you put forward you feel like, that you put forward that you feel like is not holding up?
My dear sister.
I would say, what's the bottom one on the left?
My dear neighbors.
I would say the smuggling one by AZ Central. I think it's a good story, and I think it's a perspective that's interesting, like how they get into smuggling, why they do smuggling, and how. But I don't feel like, and when you put it with everything else that's up there, if it stands.
I just gave one up as
Well, I was just, she's saying
no, I concur. Go. I concur. I concur.
Let's lose that one, please. Brent?
Black torn, which is sad.
Good.
Maybe, I think Lola. From the Seattle Times, The Long Road of Lola, One Woman's Journey.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I really enjoyed it. But maybe it wasn't as flushed out as I'm seeing like the other works. Kind of gave a little bit more power and a little more punch to it. It was a really amazing story, but it just doesn't hold weight like the other ones for me.
Gone.
It may have already come down, but Men of Valor was too one-dimensional. It really had.
In this Men of Valor?
I think it's the top one, top middle, yeah.
Double check it, if you would, please, sir. Reload it.
Yeah, I was, and again, for teaching purposes, you have to have either super powerful visuals. You have to have a second dimension. You just can't have one perspective. I would love to see in a neighborhood
You just see them at the church.
You just see them at the church, and you just want more. You
do. Leaves you wanting more than the answer.
Exactly. I wanted to go home with them. I wanted to spend time with them. I want to see what their life is like that made them find their way into mining and their faith and everything like that. So
it's a Jack Corn moment. You got to get in the front door.
There you go. So since the door didn't open, we're going to close
Yeah,
it?
I'd lose it.
Yeah.
Close? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, now we're getting somewhere. So let's look at it sort of in the reverse. What do you see as sort of rising to the top for you, Brett?
I'm still in love with the top middle of that Marshall Project piece.
Marshall Project? Okay, it's already up there. Good.
Yeah. I think that's what I adore. Shauna, thank you.
Yep. What else? What else does at the top?
For me, I think the piece about El Salvador, just because if you watch the video, we didn't see those parts, but I have to think everyone has their face covered. The police, the media, the prosecuting attorney, because basically these guys are like just killing everybody.
This one?
Yeah.
They're killing everybody.
Can you,
I have to think that this guy is producing this video and out there, and he's risking his life
Can you reload it
just
so we
reporting
can
this
see
story.
something there with the title or something?
Yeah, it was, and I like visually.
And he has his name on this.
Exactly, yeah. So like, what happened? Like, where did he go? He like published this.
There you go.
Do you get out the country after you publish that? Or,
Yeah.
So I mean, it just was so crazy to me. It was so wild. I didn't realize. I knew that there was gang killing people in El Salvador. I didn't know that like it was that bad. Where the prosecuting attorney is not giving his ID. The police officers have their face covered. Everybody, media, videographer.
Yeah, I mean, just the, and then the idea that like that's 11 people a day in a country not even as big as New Jersey with a population that's less. That's insane.
Okay.
Yeah, and that story's been around a long time. That's the unfortunate.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
hardly in reality for
Right,
me.
and then just the history of everything. I didn't realize that as far as like they came from here in America, in LA.
What else rises to the top?
Well, hurricanes rises for me, and I admit my.
It's the Washington Post down the
affinity,
bottom right corner,
it's,
correct?
It's really well done, extremely well done, and a very relevant
Can you look something
narrative
into that one so
for
that it's
folks
not
in
the,
that region.
Yeah, what I really love about it is a mix of video, mixed with animation,
Yeah, the animation.
and the graphics package just showing where the water level could rise to.
Well, it's so subtly done.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa.
Exactly.
That's watermark. That's
high watermark?
yeah, high watermark. Yeah.
Okay. What else?
I had family members send me that from the Washington Post.
On the
yeah.
on this Washington
Kenny,
Post
you ready to
case,
come
did we
home?
get something?
Exactly.
Get out of Florida.
Yeah, we're just looking at the ad.
Yeah.
To help me remember.
All right.
I'm not hearing anything about hyphenation.
I mean, I don't think it stands up against
Okay,
everything else.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Can we just pull
But
it
it's really
down
strong.
over here?
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like I don't want to.
Yep,
It's really
no problem.
strong. I mean,
No
it
problem.
had, the people that they chose to talk and speak, I think it was very, like, they probably talked to a lot of people.
Exactly.
And they listened to who had the best narrative and then animated it. And then it's so hard, the topic, it's so general sometimes. It's like, how do you cover that? How do you tell that story?
Exactly.
So this video does it very successfully, and that's what shows you the power of multimedia and what it can do to elevate a news story. So that's why I picked hyphenation, because I think for the country and being divided the way it is, it kind of gives a understanding or an insight that we maybe not have gotten before. So I appreciated hearing those diverse voices, and the way they did it was very powerful.
Okay.
Yeah, I echo that, just the sentiment that to let people talk and not to try to narrate, but to bring that authentic voice forward is really powerful and
And the
important.
people they chose to
Yeah.
speak.
I'm gonna say that diverse cast, just getting it from so many different, just understanding from so many different walks of life. Because, you know, I feel like we all have an idea of what we've experienced, but hearing maybe what the person next door experienced or things like that. So I really enjoyed going through that process and just taking in their stories and seeing myself and seeing things that maybe I didn't understand before that I walked away with.
Okay. Seeking asylum. Yep, right? No. Right, no? Leave it right there. Leave it right there. Thank you. Right here, seeking asylum, Mexico divided. Stay in the mix for you?
For me, I mean, yes, because but is it similar? So I just want to think about it.
Okay. Yeah. Just to stays in the mix. Stays in the mix.
It's on the edge for me, but it's safe for now.
It's yeah, we can keep it around.
The family next door, does it stay in the mix?
It's kind of powerful.
Just, I remember watching this, and I was like, all right, where's the tie-in? Like, I was waiting for the shoe to drop, and when it finally, like, dropped it, tail end, I was like, oh, I get it. I got it. And it really made me connect more with it.
What's the shoe that dropped?
What'd you get?
Well, I mean, the shoe dropped at the end was when she was just like, she gave her whole narrative about like why they shouldn't be here, why, and just understanding like the journey of undocumented resident, undocumented immigrants, and things like that. And then you finally get to this conclusion where she's like, yeah, my neighbors are undocumented, but if I needed something, I can go to them before I can go to the white people down the street. Yeah. And I was just like,
that was it was so subtly.
Yeah.
They don't need to be here.
Exactly.
But
if I need something,
I need them.
Exactly.
And they're not assimilating.
No.
But I like the way the videographer showed the similarities between them.
Exactly. Yeah. So well done.
So it stays in the mix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
no problem.
We're going to agree up front. We're going to have several honorable mentions here.
That's fine. Remind me what Chicago's, does Grizzly Bear stay in the mix?
I'd say no, based on where we are now. I could lose it.
In the mix, what we are no.
No.
Lose the Bears.
I mean, very well done.
Lose the Bears. Yep, lose the Bears. Thank you. Now let's spread out a little bit. Now we got some room. In prison for 22 years.
I think I'm ready to let it go. Like
No, I'm not letting it go yet.
You're not letting it go?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's very powerful.
Okay.
Some weak points to it.
Good.
And I think sorry, go done.
Very powerful.
Let's go at it from the reverse sort of way. Kenny, what are the top three? We got room.
Why do you keep doing this to me?
Well, it only feels that way. You're not being singled out.
I mean, Kenny leads the way, we all just follow. That's how it's always been.
I don't know about you, but I'm not a follower. Sorry.
Hey, I'm sorry. You know, Kenny set the bar high. I'm just trying to like, it's like a slipstream. It's like a slipstream. I'm just waiting.
Come on. Give us some place to go.
I mean, you're very good. Yeah.
Give us a place to go.
Okay, I'll stay with, what? I'd stay with the top two.
First two?
No, to your left, to our left, yeah. 1, 2, and then I'd move hyphenation up and drop Tampa Bay.
Drag Tampa Bay back. Tampa Bay down.
Tampa Bay down.
Hyphenation and the neighbors are kind of talking about the same thing, but in different ways.
Yeah, and I would say because for me hyphenation's approach is a bit more compelling.
Okay.
I mean, I get to the diversity, reality, and the range of voices a lot quicker than having to wait almost to the end of the narrative to get that payoff.
Kimberly, would you push Mexico up? Would you push Mexico, the seeking asylum? Would you push it up into the top three?
I wouldn't say that at this point.
No. Okay.
I mean, just because
it's okay.
The story, the narrative, and the journey. You know, we didn't see the father. They didn't see the father and how he was torn apart and where he was at and how they ended up coming to him.
Right.
But to stay with the story until it finished, until the family was reunited, was very powerful, and not being unsure of what was going to happen, and his family's life being threatened, and just the fragile feeling you get watching it is very powerful. But does to El Salvador do that, but in a more aggressive, violent
Yeah. All right. So just, would you
Much more visceral.
push it up?
No.
Come on, here's
not
that.
right now. Not right now, no.
Ken, would you push it up?
No,
Okay. Brent, would you push it up?
Argument on.
Would Tampa Bay move up for you, Brent?
Oof. I don't like Tampa Bay.
I do, and I brought it in there, but I kind of like the story of Hyphen Nation. Like, I really do. And the other two are just, they're just states. Let's just keep where it's at right now.
Okay. Ken, would you push Tampa up?
No,
Would you let it float up?
No, I'm comfortable where we are right now for this point of delivery.
Okay. Kimberly, would you push Tampa up? No. Okay. 22 years in prison. Would you push that up?
I might.
Brent?
I can be swayed. Like,
Okay.
I was ready to let it go, so I can be
I
swayed.
think that, you know, the story of injustice and the disconnect in the African American community, that story is a great untold story. And the access is very well documented. So in terms of story value now and diversity value, it has a greater resonance for me.
In this contest, would you push it? What would you pull out of the top straight to pull it up?
Maybe it's interchangeable with Hyphen Nation for me.
So you would pull it up and push?
I'm pushing those back, yeah. I'd like to see the Marshall Project, just a quick review.
Okay, let's pop open Marshall Project for a second. That's the top row middle.
Yeah.
For future, focusing on more women and how it's
Right.
Let
think that. And the next morning, his mom called me. And she said, my son hates me. And she said, I just filed against you. I got a call from an investigator, and they said they wanted to talk to me and ask me some questions. And I went.
Right, I'm good.
And she
I'm good.
said if I was honest, I wouldn't get thrown in.
Okay.
Yeah, I still like that story.
Yeah, it's
trying to change all
Well, again, it well documented, tracks with the narrative of the day and the Me Too movement and inequity in terms of how laws are played out across gender. It's quite an interesting piece. And I like the fact that in the narrative, what is legally the perpetrator is given a voice and insight and perspective. Not that you have to agree to it, but it's a needed perspective that's often unrepresented.
It starts a conversation that, I mean, needs to be talked about. Like, I feel like that's, like Kenny said, it's coming from a side that we don't hear very much, or it's always, like they even mentioned in there, it always kind of comes like this shame, but like, it's maybe the person who's, a violent, multiple time rapist, they don't get child sex offender registry. But like maybe there's a conversation about degrees and levels, and I think this project honestly starts to have that conversation to speak about that.
Yeah, like how many of us have looked up sex offenders in our area or neighborhood and been like, oh my gosh,
like,
there's so many. There one's right next door or whatever, and then you just assume certain things about them. And it's like they have a scarlet letter, like she's.
It's a level of profiling and bias that's sanctioned by law.
And it's told well.
Okay. So, does 22 years bump something in that top row out? For you, is hyphenation?
For me, if I had to go up there and pull something down, that's where I would start.
How does that feel?
I'm not-
Swap hyphenation for 22 years in prison for just a second. Thank you.
I think there are some weak elements to the 22 years, but the storyline and everything he said is what makes it powerful and the access. But I feel like there's still some holes. There was something about it that didn't quite make it for me.
So you keep hyphenation above.
I would, yes.
Brent?
Why would be that guy?
Because the other two are smoking, and there's only 3 of them. So just.
I go both ways. Like there were holes in both of them. I like hyphenation because it was a really different way of telling this story. But I also like the other piece just because it came at an issue and problem that we don't usually see. And just once again, it's that access, it's that follow-through, it's the time spent that I feel like I connected with this person more. I feel like there are some missing elements that I would have wanted, but both of them have it. So,
would you pull El Salvador out of the top group?
No.
To move? Okay.
I feel keeping hyphenation in
swapping
that
back.
third spot.
Yeah.
Let's watch the middle of the 22 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we open 22 years, open that one up, please? And let's
so
start, go a little slow. Oh, there we go.
Well, let's just go through the gallery first.
Yeah.
Because I think we, again, I speak my perceived bias that we look at just the video, and there's some nice moments in there.
There are some amazing moments in there. I mean, the narrative in this was just so good, that audio track, and once again, like, you're getting this huge sense of emotion that's building through. Everything overall, as this man becomes reacclimated with his family, hearing the voice of his Aunt Brenda, just...
Who's always been there supporting them.
Exactly.
Yeah, never gave up on it.
Yeah, which that's, I mean, and just the idea that even, I remember her mentioning, like, she was like, hope nothing happens to me before I see him get out.
Yeah.
Like, that struck a chord, but...
You want to see the middle of this video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there was something I remember thinking.
Make sure he was taken care of. So God answered my prayers.
Today marks 1 year since I was exonerated. There's a difference between stepping out on a prison yard and seeing daylight and stepping outside. I still can't explain it. It was like I stepped into a whole new world for real. I just remember hugging my Aunt Brenda and my sister. I told my Aunt Brenda.
Okay.
This is the issue.
First time.
He says stepping outside, that picture of him outside, is that nails that. He's outside of the walls. You know, there's...
But I know what's missing. I think, like, working on stories like this before in my own history in the past, when people come out of prison, they don't have anything. They don't have a driver's license,
Exactly.
they don't have they haven't seen a cell phone. So I don't get any of that experience of him trying to, like, figure out, oh my God, I'm in the real world now.
Yeah.
This is really hard, and I don't know where to do or where to go from. So all of that narrative is just gone.
Yeah.
Like, you see him, and he goes to his son's graduation, which is great. Reconnecting with his children, but he's also reconnecting with himself.
Exactly.
Like, who is he now that he's outside of prison? You know,
it was
before he was 4 to 5.
Exactly.
You know, so I think that is what's the hole that's missing from that story. Because you have the access, right? So why didn't the photographer? Why weren't they there for those moments?
Yeah, because this one, I think the associates, there's a lot of great moments, but there's one that jumped out at me and like, hey, I'm missing something. He's sitting on the train with his iPhone, headphones in, and I'm just like, when did this, how do you know how to use an iPhone? My mama, she ain't, she been out her whole life. She don't know how to use an iPhone.
They don't, I mean, they've been there so long, they don't know what a cell, they didn't know what a cell phone is, they don't have a driver's license,
like 22 years.
They don't have anything, right?
Exactly.
So like, even the cell phones are different. Like, they had maybe, a
Hey,
box.
watch it. The shoebox.
I mean,
It was a great shoebox, though.
So there's like, when they come out, they just like, their eyes are like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, the world is like blown up since I've been in. And so there's that shock and awe. And they did not have that at all.
Well, I agree. I mean, I now live this life with folks who are coming out. And yeah, it's a relearning process, a teaching process, and it usually comes through, and we're speculating, so I caution that we're assuming there's some assumptions here, but I know from experience that it's usually the family members who have been out who do that teaching. And then there's some programs for ex-offenders that help re-indoctrinate them with the outside world. But so those are definitely opportunities that I agree. I can see are missing here.
Okay.
So if you talk about what's in there and the story that it does provide,
Yeah.
it's talking about it,
And for me, hyphenation is an exploration, a solid exploration in an alternative story form.
Okay.
It doesn't have the traditional Shakespearean narrative flow to it. It's using multiple voices to present.
Let's walk back through from the back end of things. Does Neighbor Next Door, does it rise to the level that you want to recognize it?
Those are really good points. Because it did take a while for that shoe to drop.
But do you want to recognize it?
her frankness was really amazing to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hard to get people to say that on camera and be very like, this is how it is. And I think in order to have these conversations is really important for our society. So for me, it rises to it just for that alone, just because you need people to start having conversations, and she started that conversation in that video. So.
Yeah, and we just talked about having well-rounded and coming at it from two different angles, and we had both angles presented in this video, which then we found that thread that connects them. So,
Yeah, I'm fine with it as an HM.
Seeking asylum, does it stay as an HM view, Brent? Does it deserve recognition?
I feel like it's kind of saying the same thing.
Just on its own, does it deserve recognition?
Yeah, I think it's strong
Execution
enough.
of the craft.
Yeah, I think it's strong enough that it deserves. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Tampa Bay, on its own.
Well, without a doubt, for me, yes, I'm in.
Yeah, I still really enjoy it.
Does 22 bump anything on the front top row out?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's. I mean, once.
Kimberly, what would be your order on the top row?
Solid with the order.
Yeah, I can roll with it.
Wait a minute. I want you to roll with it. I want you to be with us.
I mean, I really, Shauna's story is really, really powerful. Can I be that guy? Let me see this one.
You are that guy.
All right.
That guy.
But you don't have to ask permission, you already are.
I just got here. This being at the table is a whole new thing for me. It's special. Can I see Venezuela one more time? Let me just see it.
Yes, sir. Is that booster seat working okay?
Is it Venezuela or El Salvador?
What?
Your booster seat.
Oh, it is? Because like, it's
got a little control.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't find mine.
I mean, El Salvador. I said Venezuela. El Salvador.
Yeah.
Does it happen?
This video is crazy. I'm sorry. It's like the craziest I've seen in a long time. I can't even imagine.
Put yourself.
Yo vivo en Puerto Rico, pero ir callada.
It
He
is.
emigrado y por la violencia. Obligadamente.
Estamos solos en esta guerra, declarada con la pandilla. Si no tengo la pistola debajo de la almohada, tengo que estarla casi tocando para dormir.
A ese grupo de periodistas que trabajan en la madrugada de Vicente Colotes es una aventura parecida al fútbol.
All right.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm alone in this world. There's nobody to protect anybody.
Exactly.
You know?
It's, yeah.
It's like chilling. I got goosebumps.
I think I forgot, not that I forgot it. I was just like, I forgot how powerful it was because I had to watch it again and again. Now I'm like, all right, I'm good.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Yes, sir.
Yes, I agree.
We've got a wrap on it.
I concur.
One, first, second, and third. 4 HMs. We're good?
Yes.
Good, thank you. It's a wrap. Let's